Morning, Terry. Here we are on another episode of Leaving California Freedom podcast. And check that city out. I know every time I share my screen, Terry gets a little nervous, but what city is this, Terry?
Well, it looks like maybe it's Omaha, Nebraska.
No, it's by the beach in the ocean. It's a little bit further west.
Oh, is it Denver?
No, keep going.
I'm guessing it's somewhere in California. Just a guess.
The south part, the most beautiful part.
Well, you tell me, David, where
San
is this?
Diego, buddy. This is San Diego. How can people look at these pictures, Terry? I have to show you. We're going to get to our realtor in a minute. We have an expert in this area, but look. I mean, this is paradise. How? Why would somebody want to leave this? This is crazy. And today we have an expert. We have Michelle Warner with us. She's an expert, and maybe she can explain it because I know she helps a lot of people leave California, and I know that she's super passionate about our city, San Diego. Michelle, how are you?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Terry, I'm in a giving mood today. And I know most of the time when we do these podcasts, we a lot of times we talk about who. So we talk about who the realtor is, and we don't talk about why they should use our network. How many realtors do we have in our network, Terry?
We have around 350 realtors who can help you sell your California home, but also find a great home somewhere else in the country that more fits the way you want to live, your lifestyle, your cost of living, the schools your kids go to, things like that.
Well, and today, like I said before, we talk a lot about who the realtors are and we talk about where they are, but we don't really talk a lot about why. So today, I wanted to share with you why you should really look into, and I mean this, you should really look into talking to our network of realtors. And by the way, look at how happy they were. Is that a picture of you, Terry, 30 years ago on the beach in San Diego?
No, Dave, I 30 years ago, I was working at Disney World, I think. Oh, no, I was in California 30 years ago, but I've kept my Disney World haircut and no facial hair since I was 16 years old working at Disney. So I appreciate it. And I think I'm much better looking than the woman on that guy's back anyway.
Well, I mean, and Michelle, I haven't even got to you yet, but I mean, look at this. This is a very, very happy couple. Obviously, they're on the beach in San Diego, and I know that you have a lot of happy clients, and you have some that want to get out. But man, they look so happy. So before I get to Michelle, I just want to show you because it is getting to be the holiday season, Terry, and I'm kind of in a giving mood right now. So this was, and by the way, for those of you that don't know, Terry and I went on a Southern Freedom Tour. We hit 10 of the top migration cities in the South. It was amazing. If you want to know about our cities that we toured, there's a list of them down here. I'd love to share with you. And this was a picture that we took on the tour. And I wanted to bring up our national lender because he has just made a commitment to everyone in our group for leaving California that if you use Monty Feltz, our national lender and our national partner, he's offering a $2,500 credit along with whatever incentives our realtors are offering as well. I mean, we are really going to be giving and trying to help our people that want to leave California. And a disclaimer, we always say it every week. If you want to stay, we encourage you to stay. But if you're looking to get out, we have some key people that can really help it. And we also have a handbook that talks a lot about all of the different decisions and processes that you need to think about when you're leaving the state. I can send you that. And Terry just came up with a new, this is kind of cool. We have several different designs of t-shirts. We're going to get you a special t-shirt. That sign that you see behind me, I actually have a smaller version of that. I'm going to give you a nice metal sign that you can have for using our Premier Network. And then you might need some new tools, especially the ones that say leaving California. So
I
again,
think
my
I
name
need
is
that
David.
t-shirt.
Do what?
I think I need that t-shirt.
We're going to get you one of those. We'll figure out a way to get
Yeah, that'll
you.
fit in San Diego. You need to wear that so that you can let the criminals know how much they can steal without getting prosecuted.
Yes.
And again, I'm your host. I'm David Berry. I am the Master of Building Dreams. I'm National Relocation Director and a partner for Leaving California. I'm super excited today. Michelle, I know that was a huge intro, so thanks for bearing with me to get through the intro. But how are
Yes.
you, Michelle?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I just actually had a client event last night. I like to do quarterly events for clients, little get-togethers, and um, yeah, it's just a fun Friday night with friends and past clients and referral partners. So I'm kicking off my weekend, and then I'm going to go on a hike this morning when we're done here.
Well, perfect. If you don't mind, I want to get into the nuts and bolts of San Diego. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. I love going to San Diego. I have friends that have a house in Rosarito, so I stop in San Diego typically, and then go down to Mexico. But so let's get into first off. Tell me about your background, your history, how long you've been a realtor, and anything else that you want to share with our listeners today.
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, my family moved to San Diego in 1975, and I'm in a little inland town called Poway, and I've not left. I've been in real estate for 20 years. My husband, ironically, is from Buffalo, New York, and they moved here around the same time. And together we've raised our three daughters, and one is in Hawaii, one's in Idaho, and the other is in San Diego, but she will be returning to Idaho. Um, I love what I do, helping people find their dream home and, that American dream of owning home ownership.
Right.
So it's gotten a little more challenging over the years with prices increasing. A couple of years ago, the rates were insane, and we were all working 724 literally, getting everybody into homes with these awesome interest rates. But things change. So I play soccer, I play pickleball, I'm very active. I'm a member of the Elks, and I do support our vets, and I do a golf tournament for the vets every year and help them with some fundraisers that they do at the Elks Lodge. Um, I knit baby hats and donate them to the hospital for newborns. It's just a
Wow.
nice little pass the time and decompress. My husband is a professional chef, so I incorporate him into a lot of my business with my client parties or events. If I have a really nice listing, I'll do a sunset champagne tour, and he hosts the food part, and we, tag team. So yeah, I just love what I do.
Wow, Terry, I think we've really and we've just met Michelle recently. She just joined our network of over 350 realtors across the country. But Terry, I think we have a winner here. And I told Terry, I said, I can't wait. So we're actually filming this on a Saturday morning, and I didn't want to wait. And so we went ahead and jumped in. Terry, what are your thoughts about San Diego?
Well, I love San Diego. I've been there many, many times over the years when I was living in California. Took my sons down there for baseball games from the Bay Area because we could stay in the gas lamp district and just enjoy a great time. But I know that's all gone through a lot of changes. And again, we're not here to trash San Diego. We know that they're going through some real challenges right now. A lot of it not their own fault. A lot of it is based upon the the federal government changing some policies for in a direction we don't believe in, but that's between us and them. Again, if you're happy in San Diego, Michelle can still help you sell your home or buy another home if you want to stay in the area, maybe move further out where you can afford more home or cash out on the equity that you have in your home. But Michelle, let me ask you this. Have you helped a lot of people leave California? And if you can give us some examples of people of where they've moved to that you've helped.
Absolutely. So I would say in the last 4 years since COVID, um, I think it was a little more those first 2 years during 2020 to 22, where people were leaving the state because of the COVID guidelines and working from home. I think a lot of companies changed their policies on employees working from home. And for a lot of companies, it was a win-win. They were saving on space, people could work from home, they were happier. So families were leaving California for a larger home, more land, a different lifestyle, and they were still working for the same company out of San Diego. So it made sense. And I would say over the last 4 years, 50% of my clients have left the state.
Wow.
Um, yeah,
Wow.
50%. And yet last year was my biggest year in the industry. I work on referral only. I don't market to neighborhoods or, condo complexes or things like that. I don't do Buffini, but it's a phenomenal program. Um, but I work referral only. So a lot of my clients are leaving, and it wasn't just for jobs. A lot of people can no longer afford the lifestyle in California, not just San Diego, but California in general. It's expensive to live here. For other people, it's not raising your family and paying for your kids to be in sports and all these other things that come along with it. It's retiring here too. So even the prices of our 55 plus communities have skyrocketed. So overall, it can become a challenge to live comfortable and not live for your mortgage payment in San Diego.
I
And that's
have not heard it
experience there.
said that way before. That was perfect. That's a great explanation. And by the way, the next question I'm going to ask you, I don't think I've really ever asked it this way. And I want to just say again that I'm David Barry and I'm from Las Vegas. So our city gets beat up quite a bit. Now, if you
Yes,
want to
you do.
focus on the negative, it's 120 degrees in July here, or we live in a brown desert. You could focus on that. But there are so many positive things about our city, and I'm going to give you this one. This is an easy one. San Diego is way more beautiful than Las Vegas. But here's the question. This is the point that I wanted to hear from you, and I think you'll be able to really explain it. As a California realtor, it's very important to you that you're passionate about your city. That's your home. That's where you live. But you also have to be clients that are like, I can't stay here anymore. So maybe you could
Absolutely.
yeah, please touch on that a little bit more. How, as a professional realtor, do you keep in good grace with your city and brag about San Diego and also be compassionate and discuss the real problems that Terry had mentioned are going on in San Diego?
Actually, it's really quite easy. I love where I am. We've raised our family here, and I want people to stay. This is where a lot of people grew up, and they want to be by their families. And so that's very easy for me. Do you want to be by the beach? Do you want to be more inland? My husband and I have 25 chickens. We have 50 fruit trees. We're a little bit more farmers. So I want people to move up to Ramona, to be inland, to have more land. This is very easy for me. I love where I'm at. But the reality is, people can't afford it. And I would never want to put somebody in a mortgage that they're living for that payment and not enjoying their lifestyle. So it's very easy when people call me and say, I think we need to reevaluate moving. My husband has an opportunity to take a job out of state. Easy, you know? Um, so I do want to touch on that because when people call me, I need to let them know I can take care of you, not just here in San Diego, whether you're buying or selling and moving out of state. If you're moving out of state, a couple of years ago, I developed um, a book, which is how I got in touch with Brianna, and it's called Coast to Coast. We've got you covered. So with a couple other agents in Remax, we developed our own referral book. And the funny part is our lender Monty is in it, but now I get to collaborate my over 300 agents that I have with the 350 agents that you have and create this amazing family network to take care of all of our clients.
That's fantastic. Now, so with that preface, I want to go ahead and dive in. Maybe you could share with us, because you're boots on the ground, what are some of the major concerns and reasons why people are leaving San Diego? I know you alluded to the fact that it's just too expensive, but what are some of the other things? Because you know that the media blows it out of proportion sometimes, and they talk about the homelessness. So maybe you could share with us as boots on the ground as to why a lot of the people are choosing to leave.
Without being political, The reality is I'm about 30 to 40 minutes from the border, and our border is a major crisis in San Diego, our border issues or lack of any security. And I have friends who are in Border Patrol, and they said they're not exposing or sharing with us what is really happening down at this border. The invasion of everybody coming over, our government is supporting them financially, housing them. They're coming across, and it's not good for our city. It's not good for downtown. We've got tents put up everywhere. It's disgusting, to be quite honest with you. There are parts of San Diego we can't go to. I haven't been to San Francisco in a number of years because of the problem up there. It's not a healthy lifestyle with all of the illegals coming over, I'm sorry to say.
Well, Terry, I know, by the way, for those of you that are watching for the very first time, Terry is our founder, and he created these groups with the hope of having a couple hundred people that he could share ideas and thoughts with. And here we are at almost 300,000 members. So Terry
Yeah.
is always in tune with the problems of California, the political environment, and all the different things. What else do you want to add to the problems in San Diego? And maybe you can ask Michelle, Terry.
Yeah, again, it's such a beautiful area. It's just so sad to see what by decision, by intentionally, they're ruining that town because they don't want to lose population anymore. I believe it's just because they don't want to lose population because so many people are leaving. In fact, I said this in 2020. I said I believe 1 million people are going to leave California. I thought it would be in a year, but it's been in the last 3 years. We've had 1 million people leave California. And just as Michelle said, look, it's one thing if you can't afford to stay because your property taxes I'm not taxes, your homeowner's insurance just doubled, your car insurance is up 50% in the last 2 years. All of that is after tax money, right? You've gotta make the after tax money. You got to pay all those bills. And it just becomes from that perspective. And then you get all of the challenges that are going on with all of the illegal immigration that's going on. And there was a huge homeless crisis problem in San Diego, 5 years ago when I was down there for the last time. There were homeless people all around the waterfront. Again, 30 years ago, none of that was any issue whatsoever.
No.
And now it's just a major problem. So we certainly are here to help people. Again, we're not happy about what's happening in California. We're only here to help people who decide they want to leave. Michelle can help you sell your San Diego Metro home if you want to leave, and then you can use our network to find a better home somewhere else. Perhaps pay cash for a home on some acreage, find great schools. Jobs are plentiful in other parts of the country. Again, we're here to help, and I'm very thankful that we have Michelle working with us to accomplish that goal.
I can give you another example here. So my husband and I, we also own property in Boise, Idaho, and we have 2 houses and then some land. For a 4-bed, 2.5-bath home in Boise, which has a decent sized backyard, dog, kids, great family house, the water, the gas and electric, the utilities, the cable, the trash, all of those encompassed together for 1 month equals what we pay for water for 1 month in San Diego. So the cost of living across the board, it's just insane. It really is challenging for a lot of people because every utility has gone up. I mean, our gas prices, I was in North Carolina 2 weeks ago, and I'm looking at gas at $2.89, and I'm paying, $5.
Hmm.
It's just doesn't make sense.
Well, I have some, I was sharing with you, Michelle, earlier that we've done over 100 videos, Terry and I together over the last 3 years. And the next part of my questioning is I wanted to find out what sets you apart. And I want to share with people, one of the things that sets all of our realtors apart is their passion. And from the moment you meet them on these webinars, you can just see they're passionate and they're caring and they're not coming off as salesy. We have people that travel all over the country and visit our realtors. And the minute they get off the plane and they get picked up at the airport, they're not saying, "Oh, I got this perfect house at 700,000. You want to buy it? Let's make an offer." It's not even, they drive them around in neighborhoods. They show them what the
Yes,
community is like. Can you see yourself and your family living in this neighborhood? Those are the important parts. It's not, when do you want to buy a house? Let's buy a house. Come on, let's make an offer. Come on, come on. So the next part of our segment here is what sets you apart. And you shared you have a major network, which is amazing for us. And also what sets you apart and how do you operate as a professional realtor?
I think you just nailed it on the head there. I don't go around, when do you want to buy or sell? I don't call clients and cold call, or I'm not pushy. You want to use me, you're going to call me. You get referred to me. We're going to have a couple conversations to see if we connect. I'll go on a listing appointment and I'll tell the client, listen, look, I know you're interviewing a couple people. We could all sit and tell you the exact same thing that we're going to do. We can show you our awards and our stats and how many homes we've sold, but you have to trust the person that you're working with, because real estate is the largest investment you're going to make. And you need to know that I'm going to negotiate the best deal on your behalf, and you have to trust me. So you have to work with the person that you feel comfortable with. I'm down to earth, I'm genuine, I'm authentic, and I'm no bullshit.
That's fantastic. Well, you got my endorsement. Terry, how about you?
Absolutely. Looking forward to working with many clients who want to relocate somewhere else. And Michelle, it's great to have you on board with us.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I greatly appreciate it.
Well, now we get to get into the fun stuff. So now we're going to dive into some of your success stories. And what I want you to share is a couple of your situations. And by the way, Michelle, I haven't shared this with you, but Terry and I have we interview people that have left California. We talk to lenders. We interview lots and lots of people that have to do with this topic. We have had clients and members get emotional. I mean, we've had people that have said things like, I had one, I remember, I'll never forget this one. The woman said, "I can't do this to my kids. I can't do what California school districts is doing to my kids." And she was crying on our interview. And it made me feel really bad because in my past life, I used to teach martial arts to children. So I'm very passionate about taking care of kids because they are our future. And for
They
anyone
are.
to think that they are is ridiculous. So let's talk about a couple of success stories. Are there any stories that you can share with your some of the clients that you've had and their stories, and maybe you could share?
Um, over the last couple of years, another aspect of my business has been friends of mine that I grew up with here in San Diego, their parents needing to downsize or go into assisted living or move out of state to be closer to one of their children. And it's something new, I think, that we are starting to see. And the other night, my husband and I went to dinner. There's a local restaurant we go to once a week. And we sat down, ordered a glass of wine, and I looked, and there was one of my friends. And I said, "Oh, I need to just go say hi real quick." I go over, she's with friends. And I said, "I don't want to interrupt everybody, but I just needed to give my friend a hug real quick. I haven't seen her." And she looks at me and tears start welling up in her eyes. And she looks at me and she goes, "I know I do this every time I see you, but I can never thank you enough for how you helped our family and my parents." And there was no other interview, there was no other call. I knew you were the agent, but I didn't realize the level of service that you provided. You don't just sell our house. You came in, helped us figure out how to downsize mom and dad's furniture, how to separate donation to what they're taking to what we sell. you coordinated, you have a whole list of people who come in and help us do all of this because it's emotional. It's
Yeah.
hard enough when one parent passes and okay, what are we going to do with mom? Where's mom going to go? We can't leave mom alone. And I walk you through that whole process. And she said, I just, every time I see you or someone asks, I just get so emotional because you were such a huge support for our family. And that's what people need to realize. This is your home. This is where your safety is. It's where you've raised your kids, where you had Christmas and holidays and dinners. So it's hard to leave. It's hard
Yeah.
to downsize. It's harder to move out of state and leave people behind. So I do have quite a few of these stories, and some of them are personal friends, and it's hard to see them go. But a piece of me is also a little jealous because I know the lifestyle that they're moving to.
Well, that's a great story and that's great advice. And as we wrap up our podcast, this is time is flying by. I always want to ask, especially you, since you're in California and you're probably in one of the most beautiful places in California. We have a lot of members that are on the fence. They're not sure if they should go or if they should stay. If you could give one little piece of advice to our members that are watching this show, and also, in wrapping up, I want you to give your phone number and your email address. What would that one tip be to somebody that's actually considering leaving?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years if you stay? Take a trip, take 2 or 3 trips, go look at different cities that you're interested in. Oh, I'm happy to connect you with an agent who can give you a tour of their city. Go look at a couple properties, see what price points, see what your lifestyle will be there in 5 years versus if you stay here in 5 years. Think about where our state has gone in 5 years. Where will it be in another 5?
That's great advice. And your phone number?
858-229-2213. I'm with Remax in San Diego. Michelle Warner Real Estate at gmail.com.
Wow, this has been fantastic. Terry, anything in closing?
No, David, I'm just looking forward to hearing great success stories of people who work with Michelle, get to know her, and understand just why we're excited to have her working with us to help people escape California and live a better life somewhere else.
Thank you so much. I look forward to working with both of you.
And again, I'm David Barry. I'm your host. You can see the beginning of this video. I had my contact information. We also have Michelle's in this video. I hope you're having a great weekend. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.